Hi, everybody, and welcome to Spa Babies, presented by Spendthrift. I'm Dan Illman, along with Nicole Russo, on location at Saratoga. Let's take a look at the field for Sunday's Spa Baby race, and it is a good one. It is the Grade 2 $200,000 Adirondack. Two-year-old fillies going 6.5 furlongs. Spendthrift Stallions into Mischief. Jimmy Creed, represented by our first two entrants, JL's Rocket, and on the ones and twos. Lots of speed and class in this race.
Absolutely a ton of speed, including the filly by Spendthrift's leading sire, Into Mischief. One of Into Mischief's rising sire's sons, Practical Joke, also one of a couple of freshman sires represented in this race.
Let's start off with JL's Rocket, and we'll watch her career debut. Belmont can win with a first-time starter, especially at Ellis Park, going 5/8 when you have a $750,000 daughter of Into Mischief that breezed in 9 and change at the sale. JL's Rocket, only a 56 buyer speed figure in this race, but the runner-up would come back to earn a 70 buyer when finishing second in a Saratoga maiden. This filly is very fast.
Yeah, JL's Rocket will certainly have to improve a little bit from that buyer speed figure standpoint. That said, I do really like the two-year-old program at Ellis Park. I think it's a sneaky good program. Some nice horses come out of that track. Into Mischief really made his name as a leading juvenile sire and leading sire of fillies to boot before he really emerged atop the national scene. This filly, if she could work on a trip from that inside post with her speed, looms as a solid price on the board for Trader Belmont.
Spendthrift's Jimmy Creed has the two on the ones and twos, and this one is already stakes placed. She had a 1 in her career debut. She had a 2 in the debutante, finishing a good second as the favorite. She got a good pace setup. She came on the outside. She got up for second. Nice experience, I think, she received in that race, and she should get pace to rally at here.
I think so as well. Running for trainer Norm Cassie, who already won the first stakes of the meet for two-year-old fillies, the Schuylerville on opening weekend. The barn has come into this meet with a lot of nice two-year-olds. This filly by Spendthrift sire Jimmy Creed, a rock-solid racehorse sire who imparts a lot of speed out of a Malibu Moon mare and bred by Spendthrift. She is Spendthrift through and through.
Formulator fact for Norm Cassie: does very well with these types. Two-year-old dirt sprinters. Third lifetime start, 40% winners over a $4 return on investment. Here's the 3, Saucy Lady T. Now, she ran in the Schuylerville earlier in the Saratoga meet. She was a well-beaten third that day. I think she'll improve from the experience. The extra distance will be okay as a daughter of Tonalist, but she'll have to move forward.
I think the extra distance will definitely be to her liking. The tonalists certainly like a little more ground to cover. That said, I think they also improve with experience. This filly does have plenty of seasoning, but I think she'll really come into her own more toward the end of this year and as a 3-year-old.
Here's the career debut for the 4. She's a Wild Joker. David Donk, not known for winning first out. It was notable that this horse went off the favorite in a field of 7 New York-bred maiden specials. She was very game to win. She's a daughter of Practical Joke who's gotten off to a great start, and she was flattered somewhat when that runner-up came right back to beat New York-breds with a 76 buyer.
Yeah, and she gets Johnny Velasquez here, and, Practical Joke has every right to be a good two-year-old sire, a multiple grade 1 winner at 2 himself, including right here at Saratoga. He's a son of Into Mischief, who has really emerged early in the curve here as the sire of sires. Really like the looks of a lot of his progeny. He's off the mark with several winners already.
Speaking of game debut performers, how about the 5, Boss Lady Kim, scoring in the race we're going to show you right now at Delaware Park, and she was up close to the pace as the favorite. She digs down deep to repel the runner-up, who would come back to graduate with a 67 buyer speed figure. Like the mixture in this pedigree, the speed of Street Boss, the stamina of the female family.
Definitely. It looks like a nice mix. And, Delaware is another one of those tracks that I think has a sneaky good two-year-old program. You don't hear it mentioned when people talk about the best two-year-old programs, like the one at Saratoga, like the one at Del Mar. But Delaware is another track that has produced a lot of solid horses over the years. This is another one who will need to improve from a buyer speed figure standpoint. But if she follows in the mold of some other, Delaware debut winners, she could be right there.
The 6 is Interstatedaydream. We talk about how Practical Joke's gotten off to a hot start. How about two-year-old champion Classic Empire? His two-year-olds are really rolling thus far, including Interstatedaydream. Let's watch her career debut at Belmont for trainer Brad Cox. She was bet down to 3-5. The buyer came back light, only a 54, but it's worth noting she beat 2 next out winners. Those horses graduated with buyers of 64 and 71.
Yeah, so maybe these horses taking a step forward out of this race, and Interstate Daydream will be the next to do so. Certainly flattered by that debut. And you look at her pedigree and you see a 2-year-old champion, Classic Empire, with several winners from his first crop, over a mare by a 2-year-old champion, Uncle Mo, very early in the curve for him as a broodmare sire. So you see precocity over precocity, and you see a bit of a value on the morning line for trainer Brad Cox, who's having a very good Saratoga meet.
The 7-wicket Halo might be the speed of the speed. She was the speed at Churchill Downs last time out in the debutante. She went very fast in that 3/4 of a mile race. She tired late to finish third, finishing behind the number 2 on the 1s and 2s. But you look at this pedigree: Gun Runner, a sensational racehorse, another excellent first crop sire that's doing very well. The Dam won this very race in 2015. If she could somehow relax on the lead, she might be able to outsprint him to the wire.
Definitely. And, Gun Runner, as you mentioned, he's gotten off to a nice start with his 2-year-olds, the horse of the year with his first 2-year-old crop. I think Gun Runner over a Tappet mare is a cross that we're going to see a lot of in coming years, as both those stallions owned by the Winchell family. This one, I thought she had a good learning experience in the debutante, possibly bobbled at the start, rushed up to the lead, and then faded a bit late. I think that race will go a long way toward building some foundation for her.
Mainstay is up next. We're going to take a look at the Grade 3 Schuylerville opening week at the Spa. Mainstay, the half-sister to last year's juvenile filly champion Vequist, ran very well. Just couldn't catch Pretty Birdie, who got to the lead. They ran 1-2 around the track, but it was a good experience for Mainstay, who was a gate-to-wire winner in her debut. She sat off a horse, and she might sit outside and in the clear in a nice tracking trip.
Yeah, I think she has the potential to work out a nice trip as Joel Rosario takes the mound. Mainstay by Astern. These are the first U.S. 2-year-olds for the Group 1 winning son of Medaglia d'Oro. But he started his career on Southern Hemisphere time, and he has several stakes winners from his first crop of 2-year-olds there, 2 stakes place runners from his first crop of U.S. 2-year-olds. And I really liked this filly's effort in the Schuylerville.
Couple hours before Mainstay finished second in the Schuylerville, Microbiome made a winning career debut. We're going to watch that effort right now. Easy speed for the daughter of Twirling Candy. She didn't change leads in the stretch. She didn't need to. She won by almost 6, and she got a fig, a 77. Tom Amos runners, well, they're running right now at the Saratoga meet.
Yeah, he's having a very good meet. That said, Microbiome by the very good sire Twirling Candy. As you said, easy speed in her debut. I don't think she's going to get an easy lead this time, and the rest of the speed is drawn inside her. She does have a chance to work out a nice trip.
Top pick time for the Grade 2 Adirondack. There's been buzz around Mainstay since day one. She's run well in both starts.
Yeah, and I very much liked her effort in the Schuylerville. Some fillies in here who have run some nice races, but the fact that she's run her best race, I think, over this track really tips the scales a little bit for me. And behind her, I'll use some of the runners by these freshman sires who really, have the opportunity, I think, to step forward.
I'm going to go with one of the 2 Spendthrift sired runners, the 2 on the 1s and 2s. Nice buyers in the first 2 starts, 78, 81, rallying in the stakes placing in the debutante. Think she gets some speed to attack for Arad Ortiz. It's our Sunday Spa Baby race of the day, the Grade 2 Adirondack. Our coverage all meet long, presented by Spendthrift.